What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another Trevor Financial video. These next couple of videos are going to actually just cover day trading and only day trading. So it'll be like a series of how to get into it and what you need to do once you're in it. So today we're going to cover the topic of the intro and the beginning portions of day trading before you even do anything. So without further ado, I can't find my little pointer. Boom. Without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. So firstly, we're gonna go over business plans. Now, business plan might not seem like something that is necessary, but actually having a business plan when going into day trading is extremely necessary because if you don't, you're destined to fail. Like if you don't have a plan of action before you decide, okay, I want to go into day trading, okay, I want to go and do this, I want to go do that, then you're destined to fail. So going into day trading, which is a career, you have to go in there with the mindset of what you're planning to do when you're in it, what you're planning to do once you get in it, what you're planning to do, all of it. Like you can't just go in there without some kind of plan of action and expect to be successful in it. I mean, that seems like common sense to not want to just go into some new aspect of life without knowing what you're going into and how you're going to address the situations once and if a situation arises, which it will, you know? So next we'll go over capital. Capital, you're going to need some kind of startup money. Now, most brokers that you try and go to require the $25,000 minimum, or you'll get thrown into the pattern day trading rule. The PDT rule is probably one of the worst things to happen to a new trader because I fell into that rule, and there are certain brokers that help you get around that rule. Robinhood is one of them. That's a very common one. You got Short Trader. Short Trader is really good if you pay for the actual membership. If you don't pay for the membership, I mean, it's still fine because that's the platform that I use, but I got the paid membership. Their commissions are terrible, but they offer a 6-to-1 ratio if you decide, okay, I do want to put in a minimum of $500. So where that $500 translates into is like a $3,000 buying power, and we'll go over that in the next couple of videos about what buying power is, the ratios, what all this means. You don't have to try and jump into all this right now. So you have to have some kind of money to start out. Certain brokers, offshore brokers, can get you around that pattern day trading rule, but they come with huge liability and huge risk. All right, so that's just that section. All right, so next we're gonna go over education. Now, to get into day trading, you can't just watch 4 or 5 YouTube videos and say, all right, this is what I want to do. You just can't watch, you know, Ricky Gutierrez or somebody like that and just say, all right, I know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna start off and jump right into it. That's not how it works. You have to have some form of education, and when I say education, I don't mean go to school and say, all right, I'm going to go into doing in stocks. That's not the case because that's not what I did. You have to be able to be educated in day trading and what it is before you try and jump into this new area for yourself. You have to go in, you have to dedicate time, effort, money. A lot of people don't really understand that in order to get educated in something fully, you will have to invest money into it. You can't, go out and say, all right, well, I watched a few YouTube videos, I read a few blogs, I think I know what I'm doing. You have to go out, you have to invest a little bit of money to make sure that you're getting the right tools because every free tool isn't a good tool. You have to be able to say, okay, I know what I'm doing now because I have the necessary tools to succeed. You just can't go in there and assume that you know everything, especially if you just jump right in. You have one good trade, you're never going to succeed in the market. I'm not saying that to discourage anyone, but a lot of new people get that one good break and then they assume that they're just the best of the best and they don't have any education in the topic. So that's just my little rant on that because a lot of people don't understand that education plays the biggest role in day trading. It's not like I just kind of jumped into it and I know what I'm doing. That's not the case. All right. Next, you're gonna have to prepare. You're gonna have to have necessary tools. Me personally, I have a 4 monitor setup. I have my Mac, I have my Chromebook, I have my TV that's connected to my Mac, and I have my TV, my smart TV that's connected to YouTube 9 times out of 10, watching live streams about how to get better at day trading. Watching live trades, watching how to execute it and all that. Because again, you're never overeducated when it comes to the stock market. It's always good to keep your eyes open for more information, because if you don't, you won't have as much knowledge. That's the one thing that I cannot stress enough. Try and get as much knowledge as you can, because there is no such thing as, all right, well, I already know this, because the stock market is so versatile that you'll never be able to just say, I know exactly what there is to know about this one section. That's not the case. That will never be the case. All right? Like, you have to dedicate time. You have to dedicate money, a little bit of money, even not even counting capital. You have to dedicate some kind of external money before you can do this. And hopping back to capital, it's going to take you a second to be able to make a living off of day trading. It's not like it's going to be an overnight thing. You're not going to make one good break and then be a millionaire, That's going to play into the next thing. You gonna have to go in there with goals. And when I say goals, you have to go in there with realistic goals. Don't go into the stock market saying, okay, I want to make this much money in this amount of time, and then expect that amount of money to come in that amount of time, especially if it's an unrealistic goal. Growing your account by 2 or 3% a month, or 1 or 2% a week, that's realistic. But saying that I'm going to come in here with $500, start investing today, and then by 30 days I'm going to have $25,000, that's not realistic. Some people have it like that because some people dedicated a lot of time into knowing how to properly execute things and do that. But I don't want you to have the misconception of, okay, I got $500, this guy did it, so I'm going to do it. That's not the case. You have to go in there with realistic goals, so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into, exactly what you're expecting yourself to get, and exactly what you're hoping to get. Because if you don't, and you just go in there and just wide-eyed and hoping you know everything and hoping everything goes the way you want it to, that's how you plan for failure. You always have to plan for failure. And if you don't follow at least these minimum 5, you're going to fail. And I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy to say you're going to fail. But if you don't plan properly before you try and take that step into the market, you're going to fail. And even when you take that step into the market, following these, eventually you're going to fail. The problem with failing is you have one of two options. You can either take the failure, learn from your mistakes, take constructive criticism from other investors and other traders and people that have made that same mistake, and then capitalize on it by correcting that mistake. Or you could take that mistake and say, okay, I messed up. I lost a lot of money. I'm done. I'm out. Forget about it. This ain't for me. The stock market isn't specifically for extremely smart people. It's not just for people with a lot of money. It's not. The stock market is a place where you can make money if done correctly. You just have to take the time to sit back and say, okay, there are ways to do this properly so that I can maximize my money and maximize my gains. If you just go in there and say, I'm gonna make $1,000 today, and then you make $2 that day, and then you quit because you only made $2, you didn't go in there with a realistic goal. You didn't educate yourself to say, all right, well, this is how much I'm expecting to make these days once I read the charts and the stocks that I'm looking into, and I know what the average volume is and everything else. So you're not educated to know how to read that stuff, so you won't have a goal that you can reach. But if you don't start off with capital, you won't be able to do either one of these two. So you have to ensure that you have all of these parts, because they all work together. You can't have a goal without education. And you don't know what education to have without a business plan, because you got to know if you want to be a swing trader, day trader, investor, or trader, you want to do Forex. You have to have a business plan before you do any of that. And before you even try and conduct a business plan, you need to make sure you have the capital that can support it. You have to make sure you have the capital that can support it. And if you have the capital that can support it, then you ensure that you have the proper tools that can get you to where you're trying to go. It all plays together, because if you break any one of these chains, it's gonna immediately put you on an expedited failure route. Because let's say you have the tools, you have the capital, but you don't have the plan. You're going to skip the business plan and you're going to go straight to education. Now you're getting educated in day trading. You're getting educated in swing trading. You're getting educated in all of these other things that aren't even relevant to what you're trying to do. Like my last video said, you have to know if you're trying to be an investor or a trader. That comes into the education portion. If you try and skip over a section, you're going to over educate yourself. You're going to set the wrong goals, and then you're going to fail because it's not going the way you want it to go, because you'll wind up investing instead of trading. And then you try and go in and you try and trade these stocks that you can't day trade, and then they wind up calling it shorting. And then you wind up shorting the stock, not understanding what shorting is, and you wind up draining your account in a day. So you need to make sure that you don't try and skip one of these steps to try and get ahead, because everything comes in steps. Doctors and lawyers and surgeons and pilots, they didn't all get where they are because they skipped the step. You have to make sure that you do everything properly so that everything works together, and then you can say, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I'm going to get where I need to get to because I followed these steps, and there might be other steps out there that I'm missing, and there might be steps that some people will say, okay, well, those are one and the same. But at the end of the day, these are the bare minimum steps you have to follow if you want to become a day trader. You can't decide that you want to skip something because you feel like it's not important. You can't say, I have a business plan, I have the education, but I don't have the goals to get there. And then you go in there blindly and you're not making what you feel like you want to make because you didn't set a goal for yourself in the first place. That's how you have to make sure you're going to be a successful trader. You have to make sure that you follow these steps, because if you don't follow these steps, you're going to wind up failing, and then you're going to have a bad taste in your mouth about what the stock market is, how to support yourself in the stock market, how to trade. And then someone's going to ask you, hey, I thought you was a trader. You're going to be like, no, the stock market's terrible, don't do it. And then you're going to put a bad taste in other people's mouths because of a mistake you made. You have to be able to say, all right, where did I go wrong and how can I fix it? Reach out, find someone, ask people, find someone in the market, get a mentor, get somebody who knows what they're talking about so that you can be able to say, all right, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm hoping to be. What do I need to do to get there? All right. So again, this is just the intro portion. These next couple of videos will be going over, the next steps after the intro, what brokers they get into, how much do you actually need to get started, what are margin accounts, all of that's going to start making sense in these next couple of videos. If you liked what you see today, and you want to follow this little series that I got going, make sure you drop a subscribe, drop a like, just kind of do the usual stuff that everybody asks for. But again, casual Friday, as you see, ditched the button down, got my gray shirt, my DKNY jacket, and that's about it. So if you have any questions or concerns, make sure you hop over to our Facebook page and drop a comment on it so that we can make sure we answer your question, or you can leave a comment on the video. It doesn't really matter. And that's about it. So y'all have a great one.